a project. Already we created 2 projects yesterday. Ignore them. We'll create a fresh project. Okay. And what I said you, starting, let us work with blank projects. Starting, let us work with blank projects. Okay. So after blank projects, then we will see working with MVC projects also in detail. But initially, let's do work with the blank projects actually. So I'm creating a new project, guys. Yeah, have a look. Let's create a new project. What did I say? Select. No. Language. Platform. Web. Choose web. Okay. And now scroll down, guys. Somewhere in the bottom, you'll find ASP.NET Web Application .NET Framework. Give a name for the project. Yesterday we created 2 projects here. We named it MVC Test Project 1, MVC Test Project 2. Now I'm creating MVC Test Project 3. All same location, our own folder, what we have created. Solution, folder name only. Sorry, project name only. And the framework, I said you, in the drop down, whatever is the latest you find, select that. Okay. In this drop down, whatever is the latest you find, select the option directly. Yeah, next. Here, choose your MVC application. What do you want to do? Sorry, what ASP.NET application you want to build? Web Forms by MVC or Web API. But we are going with empty. When you select empty, now on the right side, you are required to select the checkbox here. If you don't select this checkbox, the required folders and won't be created for you now. You saw set of folders now. That folders, references, these won't be created now. Blank project will come, that's all. Understood? See, it is clearly showing you add folders and core references. For that, you're required to choose your MVC there, MVC checkbox. Next, uncheck this checkbox. Uncheck the checkbox. Just uncheck the checkbox. So once you do that, click on the create button. It's a and test folders and files. What folders we get? Abstract. First app data. Empty abstract with one class, route config. With one class called as route config. Third one. Controllers, models, views. 2 folders you won't have here. What are the 2 folders? One is content folder and one is sketch folder. And I said you in the old versions, we used a fonts folder also, but right now the font folder is removed off. It's not there. Okay. And also 3 files. What are 3? Global.sx, packages.config, and web.config. These are the 3 files. What do you find? Now, actually, I want to say, if you want to build an MVC application, the first thing you require to do is you need to define a controller. You need to start from controller defining now. Got it? You're required to start from controller defining. You're required to define a controller first now. So how to define a controller? How am I going to define a controller in the project? See, if at all you want to define a controller in your project, 2 ways you can do. 1, manually add a class. After adding a class, simply I said you one point. What is it? Inherit the class from a predefined class called controller so that your class becomes a controller. This is what I said you 2 days back. That is manual process. Second option is scaffolding. What is scaffolding? Automatic code generation. Okay. So first let us see manual. Very simple, guys. In the controllers folder, right click Simply say add a class. Add a class, a normal class, that's all. Add a class. And once you say add class, array, you know this now. How to add a class? I don't require to teach you adding a class now. So just simply we'll get an option for adding a class. Give a name for your class. Give a name for your class. Some name you like. I think I given the name as test control. I want to give the name as a test. I want to give the name as test. But I said you one thing, remember, all controllers should suffix with. To understand is a controller, we are going to suffix the word controller. So test controller.cs. Okay. And now see, this is a public class accessible from anywhere. But generally in C# we have a class internal. But these are public. Why? Hey, these are web applications accessible from globally. So they must be public access. And this class is not a controller yet. Because you named as controller, it won't become a controller. If you want to make it a controller, you're required to inherit from the class controller that is present under system.web.mvc namespace. What is that? System.web.mvc. So what you do first, import system.web.mvc. Come here, colon controller. Is that clear? Now your class is a controller here. It is ready to accept a request. It is ready to accept your request. Okay, now inside of this class, I want to write a method. And remember, every public method in this class is known as a action method. That's what we learned. Controller is a collection of action methods. What are action methods? These methods will respond for user request now. These methods are going to respond for the user's request. So every public method, understand the terminology, every public method means if you write a protected method or a protected internal method, these are not action methods now. Action method must be public. Same here, global access should be given now. Then only, so if you want to give global access, it should be public now. So every public method you define in this class is an action method. Shall I write a public method in the class now? Come on guys, I'm writing a public method. Public. Okay. It has to give some result now. Actually, view should be the result. We'll talk about it. For the time being, I will take string. For the time being, I will take the method name as string. Okay, some name to the method, index. And simply writing the code, return what? Test controller. Simple code. Test controller, index action method. That's what I'm writing. Okay, okay. Just return it like this. Hello from test controller. Which method? Index action method. Okay, that's what I'm writing. A simple message here. Nothing to explain you. A simple method. One more method. Public string. I given the method name as show. Let me copy the same thing. Str will change it as show action method. Are you guys clear? So what did you do? You imported a namespace. Then you inherited. So this class is a controller now. This class is a controller now. So this class is going to be a controller class. Now inside of the class, you're writing the two methods. One is index and one is show. One is the index and one is the show. Two methods. And both are public methods now. So both are action methods only now. Both are action methods. So now you can call them. You can just execute them. How do you run a project? How do you run a project here? F5 now. I'm thinking F5. So just hit F5. And remember, it launches you the browser. Why? Web application launches browser. Console application launches console window. Web application launches browser. So it is going to launch a browser. And in the browser, guys, observe, see the URL. This is what it shows to you. Means what is it? It is referring to the domain. It is referring to the domain. Array protocol will be automatically present. See, even though the address bar doesn't show you, copy this, go to your notepad and paste it. See, guys, you see the protocol or not? Array protocol, domain, both are present now. Okay. And now what you just required to do is, look, guys, slash, what's the controller name? Tester. No need to test controller, test, that's all. Slash, what's the action method name? Index. Hit enter. You got your output. See. Are you clear or not? You just go there and simply enter this in the address bar. What's it? By default, what do you see? When you run, this is what you see. When you run, this is what you see. And now type there what? Test slash index. Sir, what about the second one? Array tested as a show. Test slash show. Okay. So watch. Test slash show. Got your result? Today, just for example, I shown you writing a string. But actually, what we are going to return is a view page. Going forward, what we'll return is a view page now. One page. Now the page will come and show in the browser. Suppose you created a login page now. Return that now. Automatically, the login page will be visible on the screen. You created a registration page. Registration page will be visible on the screen now. Whatever you return, that will come. But as of now, we still did not create any pages. Just for example, I'm showing you or demonstrating you the concept with strings. So did you understand about the controller and an action method now? Guys, look. I am going to change this as protected. Are you clear? I'm going to change this as protected. Slash test slash show. See the URL slash test slash show. Error. The resource cannot be found. Yes or not? Why, sir? Because the method is not public. That's the first important rule to remember. What is it? Controller must be public. Action method also should be public. If it is not public, that is not accessible. So now, is index accessible? Yeah, index is accessible because the scope of the index is not changed. So index. So proven what? Action methods must be public. Action methods must be public. You cannot change the scope of an action method. So did you guys understand? Yes or not? Yeah. Have a look, guys. Look, controller. Responsible for taking all the incoming requests for an MVC application now. Next. Class controller. Child of class controller base. What is that? See, what is our parent class? But this class inherits from another class called as a controller base. So what is the hierarchy? Controller base. Under that controller, under that our controllers. First one, controller base. Under that controller, under that all our controllers. And how do we see the base class of this? You remember this option? Right click, go to definition. When I right click and say go to definition, automatically it will show you the metadata of that class. And there we can find out. See there, controller inherits from controller base. Right click on controller base and go to say go to definition again. See that is not inheriting from any class. It is implementing an interface. What is that? I controller. Array, I indicates interface now. So we're not talking interface, only classes. So what is it? Controller base under that array. Controller base under that controller under that our all controllers will come. Okay. Well, yeah, control base and both these classes are defined in same namespace only. Which one? System.web.mvc. every controller class should suffix the word controller to it. For example, if you want to define a controller with the name home, then it should be named as home controller. If you want to name a controller called student, student controller, employee, employee controller. That is how the naming convention should be followed. To test working with controllers, create a new ASP.NET web application project, naming it as select, check, uncheck all the, read carefully when you are creating the project. You will create unnecessary checkboxes and again complain back, sir, it is not working. Understood me? Be careful. What checkboxes I ask you to select, check them. The remaining things, I will talk about them when the situation comes. Starting only, if I show all these things, it will be confusing. So that's way. Uncheck everything, only one checkbox. What is it? MVC. Rest of all other checkboxes should be unchecked. Okay, next. Two different ways. Option one. That only I shown you now. Option two. The scaffolding is automatic code generation process. I'll show you that also. Hold on. First, open Solution Explorer. Right click on the controllers folder. Select add. New item or class. Now, select class, name it as, and click on the add button. Now, in the class, do the following. First step, import your namespace. Step two, okay, what you find is public class test controller and you use controller. Now, every controller requires minimum one action method here. Otherwise, no need of that controller now. It's useless. Minimum one action method should be present under everything now. Okay. Now, define two action methods in the class as below. Two simple methods here. Public string index. Hello from test controller index action method. Public string show. Hello from test controller show action method. Is that clear? Next. Press F4 to run the project, which will launch the browser. And by default, it displays HTTP localhost :port. You notice that? What you will do? It will show you like this in the address bar. Add to run the index action method, to run show action method, which should look like this. I'm not mentioning the port. Why means this port varies from machine to machine and project to project. The port what I am getting here is not what you will get. You will get a different port. Understood my point? On my machine only, if I open another project will come now. So it will vary from project to project and machine to machine. So don't bother about the port. Okay, whatever is the port number, simply put a slash test so slash test index. Hope you guys are clearer. Okay, next. We want to invoke. Are you clear for now? Well, now the big doubt is, sir, how is your project running? You did not create a virtual directory, or you did not create an application, or you did not create a site, or nothing you done. But this project is executing. But you said that web applications doesn't run without a web server. Yes or not? This is what I explained to you day before yesterday. What did I say? Web applications will never run without the help of web server. Web server is mandatory. And to do that, I said you either copy your files into www root folder. Second option, create a application or create a virtual directory or create a site by changing the port number or create a site by changing the domain name. I given you multiple options to you. and said you need to follow any of this option, but you've done nothing now, but still executing. How is it executing? Okay, let me explain. Actually, guys, tomorrow, as a developer, see, in a company, so many people will be developing the applications. And every developer wants to test his applications. Every developer wants to test the application before I give the code. I see, without testing, will I give the code? No, I need to test my code now. I've written something, yeah, the wrong or right. How do I know? I need to run. I need to test. All these things are very, very important. And to run or test, what is mandatory? Web server is mandatory. Web server is mandatory. That's why what Visual Studio does, Visual Studio provides you one inbuilt web server under Visual Studio. Visual Studio provides us an inbuilt web server under Visual Studio called as IIS Express. IIS Express, and that is integrated with your Visual Studio. Did you catch my point or not? That is integrated with the Visual Studio. When I hit F5, it will first launch you. First it will start you IIS Express, and after starting IIS Express, your project runs. So you are not using IIS now. What you are using? IIS Express. Did you get my point? You can see this here. Watch. Actually, this is the system status tray. You know this? What applications are running? It will show you here. So you call the system status tray. There it will show you some applications. Actually, Zoom application is running here. Windows security and Intel and Zoom meetings. All this. You see 4 things running here now. Right? Yes or not? Okay. Well, just a second. Now let me run the project. F5 to run the project. And when you run the project, all of you, watch guys, you have 5 items in this list now. Check. 6 are there. What is that, sir? Check it out. IIS Express is running. First, what is started? IIS Express starts. After starting IIS Express, then the application opens to you in the browser. Now you can send a request and get the access to the values now. And you know one thing? If I close the browser, IIS Express will stop immediately. If I close the browser, IIS Express will stop immediately. Are you getting my point? Not only that one. If I go to my status tray, and from there, if I exit IIS Express, then the browser will close off. Did you understand me? What I'm telling is, I'll go to status tray here. You can see IIS Express running here now. Right click, exit. Okay now? When I say exit, guys, all of you watch. They're asking you. Yes, click on the exit button. Browser is closed off, see? We store link now. If I stop browser, IIS Express will stop. If I stop IIS Express, browser will stop. Both are connected. Clearer, everyone? And guys, here you will see on the top. Actually, F5 you are running now. Watch here, it is showing you here. IIS Express. That server is coming into action to run the code. Understood or not? And guys, all of you, it has an option. What is that? When you're running, you can choose a browser of your choice. You can choose a browser of your choice. And the default browser I have set up is Microsoft Edge. Okay, guys, Edge is more faster than your Chrome. Try Edge. It is more faster than the Chrome. Okay, and executes much better than Chrome also. So just using the Edge browser here. So you can change it tomorrow if you want to change it. So you can change to Internet Explorer, or you can change to Google Chrome. It runs on Google Chrome now. Understood, all of you? You can set up your browser and all inside of this particular list. So IIS Express and Microsoft Edge is a browser what it is using. Are you guys clear how is your project running now? It is running with the help of the IIS Express because web server is mandatory. Without a web server, you cannot run your application now. So because you cannot run your application without a web server, so what is it doing? And it is just going to create your sorry, it is going to start the web server, and once it starts the web server, automatically your project starts running now. Okay, and just a minute. Remember one more thing. What is it? This web server, the IS web server, you saw on port now? Yes or not? Means what is happening, every project is added to IS Express as a site. Every project is added to IS Express as a site. And remember, when you are going to add a project as a site, you need to have either a different port number or a different domain name now. That is why it is giving a random port to you now. That's what I said to you. This port what I'm getting here will not be same on your machine. Why? This port is dynamically assigned. Which port will come, I don't know. So every project will have a new port. Every project will have a new port. You open 10 projects. These 10 projects are 10 sites under IS Express, not IS Express. And every project runs on a different port. To make you clear all these things, so I shown you with IS first. I created different ports and created 2 sites. Same process. But here, everything is dynamically happening. Here we done manually, but here it is dynamic. Okay, come on, read. Web server. Okay. Where you find it? Status tray. In the status tray, go there and check it out. In the status tray, you will be finding up your IS Express. Okay, white color icon will come. Okay, next. That differs from project to project and machine to machine. And this one, I already explained you. Read it again. Are you clear? How many ports we have? 65,536 ports are present. Which port is assigned? I don't know. That's a random assignment. No one can see that. That's why it will vary from machine to machine and project to project also. Okay, next. Is a development web server. We call it as a development web server. Which the hold guys, hold on. What is development, staging, production? You're using 3 words, development, staging, production. You're blindly reading off, but you should ask now. What is staging, sir? What is production? See, tomorrow, every application will be having 3 environments to work. Development environment, staging environment, production environment. What is development environment? Right now, we are in development environment here. Development in a project is called as development environment. Once the development is completed, we move to staging environment. What is staging environment? In staging environment, also called as UAT, user acceptance test. What is the UAT? What the UAT is? Before we are going to move the site live, we will put in the staging and tell the client, use it and tell me your feedback. So now the client is going to use it now and tells you any issues I did not like this background color. I did not like this color combinations. I did not like the text here. So many inputs will come from him now. Are you getting me? And client is satisfied with everything now. Then your application goes to production. Got it or not? Okay. So what is the difference between client and again production vision? You developed an application for a bank. You developed a website for a bank. Is it for the bank to use it? You're developing an application for a website for a bank here. Is it for the bank to use it? For customers of the bank to use it now. So before the application goes to customer, the bank should confirm everything is okay for me now. So who is your client? Bank or end user? End user is no way concerned to me. I don't bother who is my end user. The customer of the bank is end user. I don't take the end user inputs here. Who is important for me? My client's inputs. Who pays me now? Not my customer now. Who pays? The bank pays. So bank is my client now. So when I develop, I move to staging. In the staging, who will test it? The bank employees and the bank management will test it and say all their feedback. Will fix it until they are satisfied. Once they say, okay, now everything is fine, then we go to production. Are you clearer or not? These are the three stages. Development means we are right now in development stage only. Once the application is ready, we'll go to staging, then we go to production. Once again, read from here. So where do you use IES? I don't use IES in staging and develop production now. Where do you use? Development, which the whole industry uses in development environment. And in staging and production environments, we don't run web applications on IES Express. That is, we'll be running them using IES Web Server because IES Express can provide access to applications only from local computers. And that too, IES Express will start start only when we run the project. Whereas we can use IES. I'm sorry. What is this? Just a second. Wrongly typed. IES Express will start only when we run the project. Whereas when we use IES, application can be accessed from remote computers in the network also, and it will be running independent of itself directly under the OS 24/7. What is that, sir? Already I showed you IES now. If I put this application on IES now, it can be accessed from remote computers also now. You are a developer here. You developed something and you want to show your work to your lead. You want to show your work to your lead. It's a laptop. You will take the laptop, go to the lead, sit with him and show him and ask for desk. You're working on a desktop here. So your lead is somewhere now in another cabin. You cannot carry all these things there. Or you cannot ask him to come here. If you ask him, he say, I'm busy, I cannot. Yes or not? Then what you do? Put it on IES. Put it on. Go to your lead's cabin. Now on his machine, you can access the application now. Because all your systems are in network in the organization. So what you can do, you can go there and simply hit the IES and get the output there and ask him, yeah, this is a problem I'm facing, or this is what I designed. Are you okay? Is everything fine? You can ask him now. Are you clear? So then IES Express will not work now. IES Express is only for standalone. Understood? If you want to access remote, then where it should be? IES. It should be on the IES. And second thing, if IES Express has to run, I require to start it from studio. Directly I cannot start IES Express. IES Express compulsory, what should I do? I should open the studio, run from the studio, then only IES Express will run. But IES is not like this. It's a part of your OS. You are 24/7 running now. If your machine is running, IES is also running now. Are you getting me? So if this project right now, if you put on IES, I can directly access it now from a remote computer or without the help of the studio also. Without the help of the studio also. What I mean is, I'll show you practically. Hold. Watch. I'm running from the studio now. slash test slash index. Copy the URL. Close the browser. Once you close the browser, IIS Express is closed or not? IIS Express exited or not? Now I'm opening a browser and I'm trying to give the address in the address bar and hit the enter key, and you see you will find a error. Why? Server is not running. Server is not running. So did you understand? Directly I cannot run the code now. But don't you remember we access the login page like this only? We type the address and access the login page. But it's not running it like this now. I'm not able to run it like this. Why? You should run from studio now. Then only to run. Always, what is the headache of opening studio? I developed something here. I want to show the output to someone. So directly what I thought, let me open the browser and type the address bar, and I should get this output now. Again, opening the studio, it takes time to load, run, all this. I don't want to waste the time. But that doesn't work if you are in IIS Express. Understood the problem? If you want to resolve these two problems, what is it? Straight away open a browser and access, or access from remote computers. Then you should take the help of IIS. Shall we put this site under IIS now? Now we are running an IIS Express now. Shall I move to IIS? Yeah, I can move to IIS. How, sir? How do you move to IIS? Watch it. No need to go to IIS or open the IIS. Nothing you require to do. Directly from studio only we can move to IIS. Directly from the studio only we can move to IIS. But if you want to do that, first you require to open the studio in admin mode. You require to open the studio in administrator mode. Why? Server permissions are only for administrators here. Normal users will not have server permissions. Wait a minute. We'll show you practically. How to move to IIS. How to move to IIS. Watch, guys. Open the Solution Explorer. Okay. Right click on the project and select properties. Right click on the project and select properties. Project property window will come. Okay, now in this you'll find web. Go there and scroll down. See this which server, and you see this is a current port number. See, local IIS means IIS on your local system. External host means IIS on a remote computer. IIS on a remote computer means from here I can host it on IIS on a remote computer, like a public server. That we are going to see later, I said you. Okay, now. So what shall I select now? Local IIS. See, guys, when I select local IIS, immediately the URL changes. See, what is this? It is going to create you this under the default website as an application now. Just virtual directory application option I showed you now. Where? Under default website. See, HTTP localhost means default website. Under default website, it is going to add you the site. It is going to add you this as a sub. As a sub. What it will add you? It will add you as an application. It will add you as an application. How to do? Watch. Here you find a button. Actually, guys, I want to tell you this. The button caption is create virtual directory. But what it creates is an application, not a virtual directory. I said you, virtual directories are outdated. Microsoft will remove it going forward. But they did not change the caption still here. The caption will show you as create virtual directory. But what it creates is an application, not a virtual directory. Are you guys clear? Before I click on this, shall I open the IIS and show you? This is not present there. This is not present there. Once I click it, will go there now. Okay, come on, let's open IIS and show you. How to open? INET MGR. Just a minute. INET MGR. Opens your. Check yourself. This is all what we created day before yesterday. Our MVC test project is not there now. Now that MVC test project will come and add here now. Shall I click on the create virtual directory button now? Guys, now see, I'm clicking on the button. Read it. This only I said you. Clear, everyone? What is it telling you? You don't have permissions. You must run on this only. I said you. If at all you want to host an IES, you run your Visual Studio in administrator mode. Okay, how to do that? Okay, watch. Close the studio. Close the studio. Now, right click on the studio. Can you see that? Run as administrator. Click on it. Open your project. Now you're in administrator mode now. Directly go to the project property window. Still it is an IES Express, okay? Let me change, see this IES Express. Let me change your see. Create virtual directory. Successful. Check. Virtual directory application. That only said application. Icons difference I show you already. It creates your application, not a virtual. But button caption is not changed because right now it's core now. In core, it's a different way what we do. But this is old one. So they left it like this. They should have changed the caption as create application, but the caption will be create virtual directory. But what you see is a application. Sir, is it going to run under IIS now? Yes, it runs under IIS. Okay. Just after doing this, don't forget to do this. Click on the save button. Why? If you don't click on the save button, the project URL is not changed in state. See the project URL, old value now. Just once click on the save button, guys, and watch. The project URL changed. And not only this, see here also. What did you see earlier? IES Express. What are you seeing now? Local IES. Now run. And what you will see, HTTP localhost / application name. What is application name? Project name only is taken as application name now. Look, guys, no port number. Now you see application name. Rest all same. Rest all same here. Earlier, what you saw? Earlier you saw here port. Now what you're seeing? Application name, not project name. Application name. Your project name is taken as application name. But what is that? That is application name. So localhost, application name, remaining two are same. But here, port number. Hope you guys are clear. Guys, the advanced The advantage of using this is tomorrow you can directly open a browser of your choice. Guys, you can open a browser of your choice. Start typing it. No need to run from studio now. See there. HTTP localhost. What is the project name? MVC test project 3/test/index. Look, guys. Okay, hit enter. Got it? The same thing I shown you 5 minutes back with IS Express. You did not get the result. Why? IS Express is not running. But is IS running? Yes. IS runs 24/7 if your system is running. You shut down the system, IS will shut down. If you run the system, IS will keep running for you. Understood? Just to show you the process to you, but in the development, we never require to use IIS. We can directly use IIS Express. Are you guys clear, everyone? In the development, we don't require to use IIS. We'll use IIS Express only. Throughout the class, we'll be using IIS Express only. Understood my point, all of you? So development, that is okay. Sir, can I move this back to IIS? Sorry. Can I move this back to IIS Express, sir? Yeah, we'll move it. Just a minute. Few questions here. Staging is not testing, guys. Staging is, that's what I said to you. We call it as UAT, user acceptance test. Testing is different. User acceptance testing is different. What is testing? Array, the tester in my company does, that is testing. But this is not that one. What is this? User testing. User testing is different. Your employee testing is different. User testing is scientist testing now. Are you clear? So staging is called as UAT, user acceptance testing. On other servers rather than IIS, you cannot run ASP.NET, you can run ASP.NET Core. ASP.NET is Windows now. ASP.NET framework, .NET framework is Windows. But ASP.NET Core applications we can run on other servers like a WebLogic server, Tomcat server, we can run them. Okay. Only for working on local machines, but cannot use like IIS. Yes, it's only for local. You cannot give what global access. Yeah, you cannot give access to your next system also. Network also it doesn't work. Not global access. Okay. Yeah, I stopped the audio. Fine. Are you guys clear? Okay. So this is out. So can I move this back to IIS? The local IIS Express. Can I? Yeah, same process. Yeah. Come back. Change to IIS Express. Not changing, see? See here also. Okay, once I click save. Just a minute. Change of there. Change of here. Are you getting me? Better run in IIS Express only. Or if you run in IIS, what is the problem? You're not a problem. Not any problem. Tomorrow onwards, whenever you open Studio, if you forget to open in administrator mode, you will not run the code. Be careful. Every day, if you're running an IIS, every day you require to open the Studio in administrator mode. Did you catch my point? Watch. Let me move it back to local IIS and save. Close the Studio. The problem is I forgot. I was running on local IIS. Directly I opened up the Studio. Directly I opened the Studio. I opened my project. Not getting loaded now. We'll break our head. What is the mistake? What is the problem? Why is it not running? Sir, yesterday I created a project. Today it's not running, sir. The problem is you did not open in administrator mode. That is the problem. That's it. Are you clear? So try again. Right click. Run as administrator. Loading, no issues. But now we got a screen. That's what I'm telling you. Try always in IIS Express only. Okay. Just to give you an idea how this can be moved to IIS, I shown you the advantages and the differences. I just want to tell you that's it. But maximum we try to run on IIS Express. Some testings cannot be done with IIS Express. in that scenarios, I will move to local IIS and I'll show you. Okay, we'll use that also. Again, later on, without telling, now only I'm giving you an idea how to move to IIS and IIS Express. Okay, well, I will shift to, let me shift to IIS Express, guys, and click on the save and close it once. Now open the studio normally only, it runs. No need to go for administrator mode. It should work now. Is it clear, all of you? Fine. Yeah, here we stopped it here. Yeah, guys. I shown you this also. Read the last paragraph. We already talked on this. How to test it? Either search for INET-MGR or open the browser and type HTTP localhost. It has to get you the blue screen. Or INET-MGR, we need to get the INET-MGR. If these two things are working, IIS is working on it. Try one more time. I think I just, by mistake, I typed it again. Installing already in the previous pages I given, but here also, I just copy pasted here also, all these options. Next. Read. That will change for you now. Okay. These are your URLs now. I shown you this earlier. For the old ones, colon port. Remove application name. Sorry. That's the difference. First one is IIS, second one is IIS Express. IIS and IIS Express. Okay. So that's what. So guys, don't forget, when you click on that, if you get an error, what error? You need administrator privileges. Just now I showed you. Close it, reopen in the admin mode. If you don't get any error, no issue. If error is not coming, no issue. You're administrator only then. Understood? If error comes only, you run in the administrator mode. Otherwise, no issues. You can just ignore it. Are you guys clear till now? Yes or not? Okay, fine. What next? Guys, have a look. I'm just going to run my project. What is the controller name, guys? Test. What is the action methods we have? One is index. One is show. Okay, now, guys, if I'm not typing a action method name now, I'm not typing an action method name. What I typed is only controller name. Are you clear or not? What we typed is only controller name. I don't have an action method name in the list now. Are you clear? And guys, I'm hitting the enter key, okay? And it opened you, it's calling the index action method. Why index action method? Why not the show method? Because the method is first. Because the method is first. Fine. We do one thing then. Let us swap them. So what is first? Show as indexa. It is show now. So slash test. What should open now? Our index is only opening here. First place, second place. What? Your common sense. Yeah, the code doesn't matter. Where is it present? That's not at all a point at all. Sir, why index is opening for me? It is a default action method for every controller. It is a default action method for every controller. Every controller has one method as a default method. If you don't tell that method name, then automatically what happens, that method will launch. Sequence is not matter here. You write in the first place or bottom of the class, anywhere you write. But it will search for index. Are you getting me? So what is the default action method? Index. Okay. Just a second. We'll do one thing here. Let us add one more controller in this project. One more controller. We'll try. Same process. Add a class. Oh, sorry. Same process. Right click. Add a class. I will give the name as home. What is the class name? Home controller. Home controller. Inherit from. We should import the namespace now. We did not import it, guys. Controller is what I want. Oh, sorry. What is it? Controller. Okay, giving error using system.web.mvc. System.web.mvc is the namespace what I'm importing it now. Okay, well, I showed you all these things in the morning, how you are just going to perform it. Okay, so first we should import the namespace. Which namespace? System.web.mvc. And then we just require to inherit the class. Okay, fine, done. Now, I want to write the same two methods here again now. What? Index and show. Home controller. I have show and index now. Okay, let me run again. So what should I do? I need to go to my browser and type my things or not. What? Controller name? Array, I did not do anything. Yeah, still it came. I did not do anything at all. It came now. What came? What came? We just got the index action method. Okay, just a minute, guys. I'm sorry. I forgot to change it here. Sorry. Here what we have? Test controller. Here what we have? Array, when both messages same, we are confused now again now. So that's why I changed it. Run. What is coming? Home controller, test controller. Not test controller. You noticed it? Home controller. Which method? The default controller is home. The default action method is test. Did you understand my point? The default controller is home. The default action method is index. So if you don't specify the controller name, it will go to home controller. If you don't specify the action method name, it will go to index. I said you one thing, do you remember? What is it? HTTP domain name :80/request page. Remember or not? And what did I say? If you don't give a request page, it will go to default page now automatically. See now, what is my default page now? Home index. Are you clearer or not? Home index is the default. If nothing is present in the address bar, the control directly jumps to home and index. See the address bar carefully. Okay. Now you tell me. What is this launching? Tell me. Home index. Okay. What will this launch? Same only, na? Shit. What will this launch? You see now, all three will launch you the same thing. Okay. Next. See, to launch index, you have three options. But to launch show only one option only. Okay, again. What will launch? Test index. Test index. Now also test index. What will come? Test show. Are you guys clear? So we have one option only for show in both the two scenarios. But when we come to index, for a test, we have test index two options, but home index three options. Why? If I don't tell anything, then we go to home controller and index action. If I tell the controller, it will go to index action. Guys, all the URLs, what you can try, I have detailed typed everything for you, just without confusions, like how to practice the things. See there first. What did I show you first is? What did I talk first is? We can execute the index action method using the below URL also. How? Are I given for both servers? Just both are same only. A port number or project name, that's all. See there, slash test. No action method name now. Forget the remaining. Concentrate on the controller name only. Slash test. Both are launching you the index. Both are launching the index now. Why, sir? Read it. Index for all controllers, it is index only. Next. Default controller for all projects, home is the default controller. For all controllers, index is the default action method. And to test that, add a new class, home controller, and write the below code under the class by importing names and from all process now. Write the two methods now. Just the same methods only here, but I changed here. What? Home controller. That's it. Now, when we run the project, it will execute the home controller's index action method, and the URL in the address bar will be like this. See there? There is no controller name there. There is no action method name there. Automatically, home index is launching. Okay. See now, the below URLs when used will give the following results. Guys, observe it. I given for both IES Express also, IES also without confusion. First given for IES Express. Look, what will this launch? Louder. Home index. Second one. Third one. Fourth one. Is that clear? Same. Test index, test index, test show. Okay. So again, below I typed the same thing again for you for local IES also. Just to replace the port with project. I don't know how you're trying it. If you're trying with IES, second. If you're trying with IES Express, that's why given you both are printed for you in the notes. Okay now? Well, are you guys clearer how to add a controller, how to define the action methods, all these things? Okay. To add a controller, what I said, you two options are there. What are the two options? First option, manual adding. Second option, scaffolding. The second option is scaffolding. What is scaffolding, sir? Scaffolding is a mechanism of automatic code generation. Automatic code generation. It will generate you the code automatically for you. Okay. So basically, if you understand what is scaffolding, read it. Earlier, if you want to add an MVC controller, the only option is manual adding only, just like I showed you. But from Visual Studio 2013 onwards, Microsoft has introduced a code generation framework into the Visual Studio. Okay. See, we use this scaffolding in our project when we want to quickly add code that interacts with the data models. Using scaffolding will reduce the amount of time to develop standard operations in your project. Okay. So what exactly is it is? Look, guys. Now I want to add a new controller. One more controller will add. Okay, just a minute. Okay. One more controller will add. How are you adding till now? Right click, add, selecting a class. Yes or not? But see, guys, the first option on the top, that is what we should select actually. But we are selecting what? Class. Now select this option, controller. It opens a window. Watch. Add new scaffolded item. And here in the left hand side, by default, MVC selected, controller selected. Going forward, we'll use Web API. But now it is MVC controller selected. And here telling you MVC5 empty controller. Okay, it will create you a controller with a class and one sample action method. All the things will come for you. If you select the second option here, it will write you methods for selecting, inserting, updating, and deleting now. If I select the third option, what happens? It will write the code directly connecting to database only. Are you getting me? How to use them? I'll show you going forward. Okay, let us start with empty. We'll use the second and third options also, just going forward. Okay, now first let us go with empty. Just go with empty. Click on add. It will ask you the name, guys. It will ask you the name. Give some name here. Demo controller. Just click on add button. All things are automatically done now. That's all. In namespace imported, class defined, inheriting from controller. One index action method is also defined. Check. Imported, inherited. Index action method also defined for you. And what is the return type action result? Ignore this. Don't delete this, delete this, and again the same two methods. Let's copy, paste here, and change. What? Demo controller. Now tell me, how many ways can I launch the index? 2 or 3? Array 2 na. Why you are telling 3? Not home na, demo. It is home 3. For other it has 2 only. One option. Demo / index. So 1 only. Demo / so run and test. See, I did not type anything. By default, home control index action is launching of C now. Now I'll type what? /demo. Demo controller index action. I'm typing demo / index. Demo / show. Are you clear? Now the big doubt you'll have in the mind is, sir, can I change these defaults? Can I change, or should I go ahead with them only? I don't want home controller as a default. I want to give my own controller as a default now. I don't want index as my default. I want to give my own action method as a default. So do I have a chance to change this, or should I go ahead with the same mechanism? The going with same mechanism is always not right now. How can you decide? How can one decide what should be a default controller, what should be a default action? Yeah. Every developer should have a chance to decide on his own now. Am I right or wrong? Who are you to decide? Who is Microsoft to decide that? I should get a chance to decide on my own now. Are you clear? You can do it, guys. You can change. All these things you can change. How to change, sir? If I no, yeah, you can't access globally. How many times I should tell this point to you? You can access only in the network, not globally. If you want globally, that should be hosted on a public server. That should be hosted on a public server. IES doesn't give access to everyone. Someone messaged me, you host an IES, I want access from mobile. Your mobile and your net. Are you in a network? You're not in a network now. You cannot access it. That should be hosted on a public server. Okay, I'll show you that later. Is it default class? Which one? Default means not inbuilt here. Just a second, I'll tell you. Yeah, we can have n number of controllers, n number of action methods. Because we don't write all four in one class now. We have different types of activities in the code. So that's why we'll have different controllers in the code. Different controllers, different action methods. Okay. Well. So what's the question now? Can I change the default? So I tell you how to change the default. First question is specified actually what? The default color name, default action name, will be specified actually. That is a doubt of my mind. So what let me change it now. Are you getting me? Guys, it is specified under this file. Which file? Yes, that is shown you. That file. That file. Which file? Yes. Open it and see. It is telling you fantasy. All of your kids also you are random. Controller this space also there. This is the name of controller selection there. Next. And if click required, you can pass it value as the input. So we are not passing it to you to pass it all like that. Why you not pass it to you? Now see the next one. See now what is the default controller? What is the default action method? Change them if you want now. Change them if you want. Shall I make it as default controller? Come on, I'm changing the default controller. Number project check is a lot of index. Is it clear? Can I change the test? See there. I want to change my action method. What do you want? Guys, someone is this. Do you understand what is default? What is default? You understand now? It means if you don't specify anything, what should I launch? If you don't want to specify anything, what should I launch? Are you clear or not? That is what we call as default. The non-specified what I will launch. So that's what we are specifying in this location. Okay, let me change what is original value again. No, I can change, not sure. So this I you did not say you did not say check yourself. This is why you did not say that is optional, man. That is optional, that is just non-optional. So basically, the one file will give you the one pattern and another pattern is the URL pattern CPS center. One function is first, I can't change the protocol and my name cannot be changed. That is fixed. Did you understand or not? Protocol and my name cannot be changed. That is fixed. You can how the control is being action not in mental. For example, watch it. What I tell you in comparison to static. Louder. Static means so now. Are you the URL should contain MVC now. The URL contained in the MIT also, guys. Now, this is not launching. Watch. Why is it not launching? Because the URL requires MIT to present in now. MIT now. Rest of the maximum now. But consultation is working from my company. I can tell my URL should present in the report. I can understand everything. How the URL should be present. Okay, so it's a back on, or you want to use your company name URL, you can tell him now. Got the point? Okay, so now, every time this MIT is some compulsory, and they want to accept the demo, enough. They might launch. Demo MIT. Will it launch? No way. It's not actually what you want to know. You want to necessarily combine MIT somewhere there. But that's missing. So telling you for not found. I did not find the resource you're asking for. So what you know? MIT/demo. So did you understand me? Yes, I'm not sure. So basically, this file is used for finding the URL attendant. What I say about attendant. This is what I say about attendant. I tell you more about this about attendance and finding in the tomorrow session. Is it clear? And to be tomorrow is not a holiday. No, it's not a holiday. We have 4 days in the next week. Because of the there are 4-5 days in the next week. Okay, so that's tomorrow is a one day that your classes is as usual. All Wednesdays as usual. You are running any other classes, all classes are as usual. Is that clear? Okay, so we will be tomorrow and tomorrow and you will be this in detail. Let's stop there, guys.